Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on this triumphant Tuesday for what is going to be nothing short of another jam-packed daily cryptocurrency market update. And I couldn't believe my ears listening to Larry Fink on CNBC yesterday. And that's where we're going to be starting the video off. We're going to be starting the video with Larry Fink, the largest asset manager in the world's take on Bitcoin. And what he says is exceptionally interesting. That's where we're going to be starting the video off. We've known it was coming. It's very interesting because we've seen accumulation by the likes of BlackRock throughout this entire pullback through their ETF. And we know actually yesterday we looked at CoinShares report, which saw, I think, is it the fourth largest inflows in regards to exchange traded products for crypto ever. And actually we're already nearly 2x the kind of crypto ETP inflows that we were in 2021, the bull market. So this bull market is going to be significantly larger. I think it's largely going to be driven by the institutional interest or kind of gateways being broken down to enter the cryptocurrency space. We've already seen that. We're going to get an Ethereum ETF, so on and so forth. But we're going to be starting the video off with Larry Fink. And then we're going to be diving over to the Bitcoin chart, looking at where that's at. We're going to be talking about the fact that there's fear in the cryptocurrency market once again in regards to Mt.Gox. Now, I've been covering Mt.Gox for as long as I've been covering crypto on YouTube and kind of in this space. But Mt.Gox have started to send their $2.8 billion worth of Bitcoin. We're also going to be talking about how USDT has just printed another $1 trillion worth, oh, sorry, 1 billion. Let's get it right. $1 billion worth of USDT. There's a correlation between the market cap of USDT and the cryptocurrency market. We'll also take a look at that. We will, in relation to the fears around Mt.Gox, just really show people once again that, you know, institution smart money is buying. If you live in the UK, you can't actually buy the BlackRock ETF. So who's buying it? It has to be accredited investors. Also, we have news that pro-crypto Ohio Senator G.Day Vance is Donald Trump's vice presidential pick. And this guy's extremely bullish on the cryptocurrency space. Then we're talking about a little bit of macro stuff. Jerome Powell spoke yesterday. And actually we have Goldman Sachs coming out and saying that rate cuts are actually potentially warranted in regards to this month. So I've said this. I think we're going to get rates quicker than people expect. I think they've been playing a game of chicken because they don't want the dollar to fall or the Dixie to fall too much against the other currencies, but it will do that. We've maintained a bearish Dixie stance. We've maintained our stance that this is just a pullback in a broader bull market. And things are coming to fruition, guys. And there's lots of setting up. If you look at the ETPs, if you look at the crypto stocks, guys, if you haven't considered becoming a patron, now is the time. Now the market's on the turn. You can take part in our 1 to 100x challenge and get the altcoins that we've chosen cheaper than what I've got them at. You can unlock my entire portfolio. And there's a basket of crypto stocks that we're looking at that are presenting insane opportunities, or I think they're going to offer insane opportunities in line with the rest of the space. Get on board with that if you're not already. Let's start the video off, though, however. So we've got a lot to cover with probably the most interesting thing, and that was Larry Fink on CNN. Essentially talking about Bitcoin. Now, of course, Larry Fink is literally the largest asset manager in the world. What I'm going to do is go ahead and mute my mic so you guys can only hear this and not two of it. We'll play that and then we'll get on with the video.
Now, I know you have been a leader in willing to embrace crypto. You have made it so that people can be in Bitcoin. We hear that you are thinking about Ethereum. These are incredible things. Now, BlackRock is not known as a gunslinger by any means, so you obviously must believe that this maybe is an alternative. Is this an alternative in order to be able, because of a deficit, maybe something long-term people should have?
Absolutely. As you know, I was a skeptic.
Yes.
I was a proud skeptic. And I studied it, learned about it, and I came away saying, okay, my opinion 5 years ago was wrong. Here's my opinion today. This is what I believe in today. I believe the opportunity today. I believe Bitcoin is legitimate. I'm not trying to say there's not misuses like everything else, but it is a legitimate financial instrument that allows you to have maybe uncorrelated, non-correlated type of returns. I believe it is an instrument that you invest in when you're more frightened, though. Right. It is an instrument when you believe that countries are debasing their currency, debasing their currency by excess deficits, and some countries are. I believe we have countries where you're frightened of your everyday existence and have an opportunity to invest in something that is outside your country's control, then you can have more financial control. And so I'm a major believer that there is a role for Bitcoin in portfolios. I believe you're going to see that as one of the asset classes that we all look at. I look at it as digital gold, as I said before, and I do believe there's a real need for everyone to look at it as one alternative to, I would say, the optimism that I have in the world. If you want to hedge hope, Bitcoin is not an instrument for hope unless you're hopeful you're going to make a lot of money on it. But I look at it as a vehicle in which you're expressing your financial acumen in something that you're more frightened of the world, you're more frightened of your existence. And I believe there's a great industrial use for it. And I think a lot of people are missing that.
I couldn't agree more. I changed my mind about it when you did. You had been my thinking. It was like,
We probably all don't want Jim Cramer to change his mind on Bitcoin. We want him to stay as bearish on it as possible. But isn't that just insane? As somebody that's been in this space for as long as I have, originally stumbled upon it in the days of Silk Road, it's just come so far. And, you guys, I'm sure, are well aware of my beliefs on Bitcoin. I think it's the sheepdog to herd the sheep into the pen, into this kind of global digital world. But regardless of what I think, I think it's going to do well as a result of that. I think they'd have killed it in its tracks if it wasn't. But, I could be totally wrong on that. I think that's, for me, a more believable story than the Satoshi narrative. Insane. And Larry Fink mentions it's a new asset class. Asset classes have more than one asset within them. We are seeing an Ethereum ETF coming. We knew that was coming based on ETH dominance, etc., etc. And he talks about how Bitcoin is really a hedge against dumb monetary policy, dumb Federal Reserve, dumb governments. And it is. And you've got to ask yourself the question, are the governments and the Feds doing what they're doing naively, or are they doing deliberately to usher in a new system? And I think the latter is the truest one. But that's just my own take. But Bitcoin is going to do exceptionally well. We've not seen anything for it yet. In fact, we believe and have continued to reinstate, despite all the bearish rhetoric. Every time there's a pullback, the bears come out of the woodworks, and I'm just so bored of them. How many times you need to be wrong with even Capo capitulated? Right? What I understand that people want cheap prices, people want this, but you need to get on the side of the market. We get on the right side of the market through technically assessing it. This is obviously where we think Bitcoin's going to 151K. We've done work on Total 2. We've done work on the ETPs. We've done work on crypto stocks. We'll give you Mara, which is a small one that we're looking at. We can also talk about Wolf. There's 1,000,001 that we're also looking at. I mean, look at this for breaking. These are breaking out as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter which way you look at the cryptocurrency, you kind of have to be bullish on it. And we'll do a whole video on why Bitcoin dominance is rolling or going to roll. Could be going to 20%. And an alt season cometh, like we've been saying. We're on the cusp of that now, ladies and gentlemen. We do have news that Mt.Gox addresses have just sent $2.8 billion worth of Bitcoin to another address. Please don't ruin the rally. I don't even know what. Anyone that calls himself a crypto trader, you've just got to have to see results. Don't let this worry you at all, guys. We know that institutions are buying. We see that from the reports. This was digital asset investment products saw further buying on price weakness with inflows of $1.4 billion last week, bringing year-to-date inflows to a record $17.8 billion, far surpassing 2021's inflows of $10 billion. So 2021 on the height of the bull market, of course, you didn't have all the ETPs back then. It's the fifth largest week of inflows. Sorry, not the fourth. We've also got news that Tether have just minted another $1 billion. And what's the why is that interesting? Well, the correlation between we get such an insight, and you can learn all of this too, by the way, guys. In regards to the charts, we can beat anybody with the charts, guys. It's that simple. Because we literally have, you can't argue with facts. And this is the relationship between Tether's market cap and, of course, Bitcoin, which Tether's market cap's in orange, nice and confusing. So this is typically quite bullish news. Watch out for that video where I'll go into altcoins in a lot more detail. On top of all this, if the news we haven't covered wasn't enough, we've got pro-crypto Ohio Senator J.D. Vance is Donald Trump's vice president pick. So Trump said that Ohio Senator will be strongly focused on the people he fought so brilliantly for in America, workers and farms. And it talks about, just how bullish or how accommodating he's been to the cryptocurrency space. And he has indeed. If you do a little bit of digging or looking into this guy, you'll see nothing short of that. Also, we did have Jerome Powell speaking yesterday. Federal Reserve Jerome Powell gave another signal Monday that the central bank is nearing the time when it can start cutting rates, while emphasizing that he wants to stay in his job until his term is up in May 2026. We'll see if Trump gets elected. I don't think that's going to be right. I think there's a very high likelihood Trump gets elected. Now they've martyred him. I think people don't really know what to believe, and that's scary. When they have people confused and questioning everything, it makes them very vulnerable, and that's what a lot of what we're seeing now is all about, dividing and conquering people when we should be coming together. Goldman Sachs, the Fed has a solid rationale for rate cuts. Let's give you the quick sort of macro 3,000 feet overview. Where's the delete on this? And that is that when the Dixie goes down, risk goes up. Remember, we got that long-term, broke out that falling wedge we were here perfectly. We're coming down to the lower band here, I believe. We know the correlation with risk. When the dollar goes down, risk goes up. And the dollar's going to be going down because they're going to be lowering interest rates. Well, if other countries are lowering interest rates, why would the US dollar go down against them? Because it's a larger market. In the same reason it went up when other countries were upping interest rates against them, because there's a high demand put on it. And that's ultimately going to drive risk. So liquidity is coming. It aligns with liquidity cycles. It aligns with our analysis on the bond market. And absolutely everything in between. I mean, we couldn't paint a clearer picture. You couldn't find anywhere on YouTube, I challenge anybody to do this, a clearer picture being painted in regards to technically where the cryptocurrency market is going. And we've stood on that and continue to stand on that since 17K for Bitcoin. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, guys, sometimes our confidence comes across as arrogant. I do apologize for that. But if you're not a subscriber, we truly do believe in helping people. If you want to take your journey a little bit further, do become a Patreon. The course is coming out next week. We're just trialing it on some of the Patreons. That's really it from me, guys. Huge news in regards to Larry Finkelstein, praising Bitcoin, calling it a hedge, which is exactly what it is. And things are turning, the tides are really turning. Great news across the board. Hang in there. Price is looking a little bit more optimistic. This will, in enough time, just be given or proven to be a pullback. Altcoins, we know the score. They're very volatile. They act in that kind of manner, but you don't just get the upside, you get the downside with them, and you need to understand that and be able to stomach that to be a successful cryptocurrency investor. Remember, nothing we say or do in this channel is financial advice. I don't care whether you buy crypto or not. Generally, we just want to highlight what we believe is an opportunity. That's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to love and leave you all on that note. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next.